We're live, Jim, but not as we know it.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, your home of your classic games, content, and debate. We're back for another lovely coffee morning with Ben and our usual crew. With me this morning is my two usual co-hosts, but we've got a special guest. He's the godfather of the house, Arnold. He really is. He should be in charge of Tottenham because this man does make sense. It's Philip Brady. How are you this morning, Philip?
Yeah, fine, Dermot. Yeah, I'm just looking at a flash that came in from Sky Sports a minute ago that Newcastle have agreed a fee for 30 million for Guimaraes.
Yeah, I saw that myself.
Are we actually in for him? Because I'm actually confused at the minute. I'm just
Yeah.
losing track of the number of players we're in for and not in for. So that wasn't a good start to the morning. Anyway.
No.
Well, we're in for everybody, but we're actually in for nobody.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. That seems to be the usual case.
Smoke and mirrors, isn't it?
It is.
It certainly is. Next to Philip, well, this man needs no introduction. This fella can make coffees like no other. And it was International Irish Coffee Day yesterday, which I didn't know.
I didn't even know about
Philip
it.
didn't know.
Nor did I.
Nor did Ben. But anyway, he's the man who can make decent coffees. It's Ben Kaufman. How are you this morning, Ben?
Decent. Just decent now, Ben.
Yeah, just decent. Yeah, I've been demoted.
Yeah,
doing all right. I'm a bit bemused. I'm still rather confused about a lot of last night's news, but we're still having fun.
That's the main thing. And then next to me, well, really, this man needs no introduction. He's one of the nicest people on YouTube you're likely to meet. He's with me on every stream. He's my co-host. He's the one and only. He's my mate. He's your mate. It's Cleveland 99. How are you this morning, Cliff?
Tired but good. Pulled a late night for last night for some reason, but
we shouldn't have done it, should we?
Need some of Ben's just decent coffee. If it's up to it, the scratch. Do you think, Ben?
It's all right.
I don't know. Being insulted this morning already. Look.
People said a lot worse to me recently.
That's not good. I know your coffee's good because I know what your recommendations for other drinks were, and it was spot on.
So, is there any good Irish coffees you can recommend to me?
You missed it in the stream yesterday, but I made a cold cappuccino with cappuccino liqueur, and it was rather splendid. It was rather splendid.
When I come over on the 13th, you got to make that for me.
Yep, we can give that.
Yeah, we'll give that as well.
Oh, Ben's just frozen. Right? Oh no, there he is. Right.
Right, shall we get in some of the comments before we crack onto it? Because there is a lot actually to get through. There's a lot of new rumours.
Absolutely. Just say a quick hello to everyone.
Yeah. And we've got
Celery Agent. Good up, mate. Good of you to join us again. Philip. Oh, we won't bother with him. He's wasting our time already. They'll be so messy. Yeah, he's the only player we haven't been linked with. Yeah, it's that way, isn't it? It's crazy in the press every time. Especially getting closer to the end of the window. Eugene, big up, mate. Good of you to join us again.
Morning,
Eugene. Stephen Cartwright. No, the letters are in the wrong places this time, aren't they? Have we signed anyone yet? I think it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's an anagram.
Possibly. Or is it,
it is
something else?
The Greek anagram. It dates back to the beginning of time. Have we signed anyone yet?
Have we almost yet signed?
Whom have we signed?
We have anyone yet signed?
Keeps us on our toes, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Oh, Lord. That's a good one.
John Fitzpatrick,
big up my Irish brother. How are you this morning, sir?
And Celery Agent again. Hello, lads.
Yeah, it's just saying hello.
John saying, best intro to the YouTube. Big up to Phil for working his magic. Absolutely. Yeah. He's done us absolutely proud there.
He has done us proud.
We jokingly say we could just play the intro and then just go off air again. It's okay. People will be content.
Yeah. We've got Moondog. Well, first to say big up to Moondog for the donation this morning. I actually woke up to him sending us some donations. So thank you so much,
Moondog. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, very kind of you, and thank you so much. Good morning to you. Yeah, guys, let you do this one, please.
Mark Cousins, morning, lads. Have we signed it? Oh, wait, it's us to know then. Yeah, it's that way. Some sort of hopeful things happening, but there always is, isn't there? It's always hopeful. John Fitzpatrick, I'd give my right arm just to see us win the FA Cup again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll give you a right
was
arm
our
as
cup,
well, mate.
wasn't
That's
it?
fine.
Yeah. It was our cup, wasn't it? For years and years and years.
It was. I mean, if we can win it sort of 10 out of the next 12 years, I'll be happy with that.
What do you win if you get? What do you go into if you win the FA Cup? Is it the Conference
Europa
League
League.
or Europa League?
I cover from Wembley one. Philip Brady. That's only because even the Levy dictatorship fake news PR department doesn't believe we're daft enough to fall for that one. They clearly do, though, with this ridiculous Diaz bid stunt.
I mean, we were linked with him in the summer, though, weren't we?
Yeah, we'll come back to that one in a minute, won't we? Wayne Bonner, morning, mate.
Morning, mate.
Good morning, gentlemen. Morning, everyone. William Kelly, big up, mate. Big up,
Big
mate.
up William Kelly from Australia. Hope you're doing well over there, brother. And you did well on Dave's show Monday. So, you're welcome on here anytime too.
Alan Harris, morning, mate.
Good morning.
Morning,
lads and
Alan.
lasses. And big up to Derek Jameson as well. Good morning, mate. And Brian, the Daigle. Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Levy out. you got to do the Levy out.
No, you got to point at screen.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Now, where's your phone? You need to get them up on the phone.
Get it. No.
There we go. No, wrong way. Levy out.
Oh Lord.
A Tavacron again saying Levy loves nothing better than a good track or monitor. That leads absolutely nowhere naturally. Yeah. Seems to be the right way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Spot a player that everybody's heard of, offer too little for it, get rejected, say we tried. That seems to be his MO with a lot of ones. Great panel on chat, says Celery. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shawnee,
Sean.
morning, mate. Good
Hope
of you
you're
to
all
join
right,
us.
Sean. I spoke to Sean earlier, but big up. You did well last night and handled yourself with a little bit of dignity last night in a very tough situation. So big up.
I mean, he always has to. He's used to it
That's
now.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it's sort of bulletproof.
But he
armor.
will come over to our side eventually. He knows that. He's coming over to the light slowly.
Another sort of 4 days or so, and there's no choice, nowhere left to go.
No.
So what you're saying is Sean is the new Anakin Skywalker and Dermot is Emperor Palpatine.
That's it.
Just sitting in the darkness.
Yeah. You're coming over. Sadie Early saying to Sean. Sean Butler saying that. Right. Any more? Yeah, we've got Sean Cartwright. Big up Stephen Cartwright, sorry.
That intro reminds me of when we were a football club. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That does for me as well. Actually,
we're not anymore.
At times it's actually making me quite tearful watching that because the memories were fantastic from some of those events.
I said it to you, didn't I, Coo? The first time I watched it, I actually had a lump in my throat. Watching that for the first time, it really does bring the emotions.
Barnabas, morning, mate. Big up to the panel, he
morning.
says. Brian Socrates as well. Morning, lads. 5 days till Judgment Day. I hope Paratici has been cooking quietly on out the back. Let's hope so. I'm not confident though. I don't think anybody is, are they? We'll see.
We'll see. I just want to bring up something after these two. I've actually got 2 birthdays to say happy birthday to. So we'll do William Kelly's one, and then says morning and night for everyone. Big up, William.
Alan's saying that it's international level. I'll come back to that with you, mate. It's an interesting one anyway. It's a difficult little challenge. It's doing the all-time 11 with a 1 player from each nationality, and
that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
I
look forward to seeing that.
We will come back to that one. Atagrakron saying, morning everyone. I hope Brian imagines himself being that boost of jab needle and pointed in the direction of Levy.
Oh, dude. Right.
Okay.
That's we're up to date on them. Firstly, we're all right. Should we get on with some Spurs news?
Let's do that, and then we'll get straight to our guest Philip since he's here. Let's have Philip's views on it. We've got a little bit of news to take as well.
Well, firstly, I want to wish It's Tony Park's birthday today, so wish him happy birthday.
Big up Tony
And
Parks.
it's also the great Bill Nicholson's birthday today. He would have been 103
Oh wow!
if he was still alive.
Still young and sprightly.
And he'd still be better than most of the managers around today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big up, Bill. That man should have been knighted. It's a travesty. That man was never given a knighthood.
Both him and Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah. Absolute travesty. Man United's manager gets a knighthood, or the Liverpool manager gets a knighthood. Where's Bill Nick's knighthood? Absolutely
I think Bill Nick was quite an outspoken, maybe not a member, but a supporter of the Labour Party. I don't think that went down too well in certain circles at certain times when certain
there are plenty of knighthoods in the Labour Party. Lord Levy's one. Not that Lord Levy, but there are plenty of knighthoods in the. I mean, the current. Before we go into politics, the current leader is a knight.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think
so. I wouldn't go that far.
Things, but anyway, he didn't get it. So, and Jimmy Greaves didn't either, which is. Even though there was a campaign to get him knighted, it never actually came to anything.
I just want to get that right. He was. It's his birthday. It's also Jose Mourinho's birthday, former Tottenham manager as well. It's his
dinosaur
as well.
How old is he? 6,000,004?
Yeah, he is. He's around that age. Yeah. Right, we've got a bit of news to get through. I'll start with Cooper and Philip on this one. I'll start with you, Cooper, and then I'll go to you, Philip, and then Ben. Read it out, and I love your response to it. Pochettino has told PSG to sign Ndombele before the end of the month. Pochettino wants to play him in the Champions League. Cooper, what's your thoughts on that very quickly to begin with?
Riddance, off you go. That'll be it.
Yeah.
Philip? Pochettino still loves us if he's trying to help us get rid of that rubbish.
He does, doesn't he? I have to say he does. Philip, what do you reckon to that news?
Yeah, I think Agent Poch is still working for Spurs. We want to take Ndombele off our hands. The mission accomplished. I mean, unless maybe the fella is French. Maybe he'll do better back in his homeland. He probably never settled in England for whatever reason. So Poch obviously sees something in him, and if Poch wants to take him, we should be laying the groundwork to get it done and get it done quickly, because we don't want Ndombele in that club on the 1st of February. And every hour that goes by, the chances of that increase that he will still be with us. So, get rid.
That's true, Philip. Ben, very quickly, what's your thoughts on that bit?
Fill up the car, Cooper. We're going on a road trip.
Yeah.
Get your PCR test done. We're driving Ndombele to Paris.
We'll go for it, mate.
We'll come with me and Philip are going to get Dele Alli and we'll join you on the trip.
Put them both in the boot.
Yes.
All the way.
You're about a 2-hour drive away, Ben. I'll be there in about 25 minutes.
I'll tell you what, I can actually save you a trip there. We've got a camper van. We put a lot of them in it and drive it over.
Oh, yeah. Get on that ferry, Phil. We'll see you in about 1,200 hours tonight.
He's like General Ben, right? Be here in all 400 hours.
Oh dear.
Actually, no, it's double our hours. Double midnight.
Just to say it was Jose's birthday today, so happy birthday to our former manager who should have won us a trophy to Levy. Don't understand
wasn't allowed to stay long enough to do it.
No. Also, Herrera was mentioned as a name in condition for a swap deal with Tonge at Tottenham. Very quickly, Cooper, would you happy with that, or who would you like?
Under Herrera,
the ex-United.
Herrera.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be better than having Ndombele, hasn't it? But I'm not sort of over the moon about the idea, I must admit. I preferred the idea of Wijnaldum and who's the other one we were linked with? Draxler as well. Draxler sort of lost his way a bit, but if we get someone like that and get him back to on form, that'll be a hell of a signing. But
Paredes was mentioned as well, wasn't he? As one of the swap.
Paredes just want to come and
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly got to be better than what we have seen so far, hasn't he? Surely.
But I read yesterday that the PSG have to get rid of some players before they can bring in Ndombele in. So something's got to give, you know.
I would take Ander Herrera, mostly because he's a shithouse. He's a winner.
True.
We need someone like him that is going to stick his foot in and not care. But he's also a metronome. He's like Harry Winks, but better. And he does the defensive side of the game well as well. He's got leadership capabilities. He's a winner. Get him in. He's an older pro. We need that experience in that team. And he's won trophies in recent years.
That's very true.
Makes a good case for it.
Yeah. The third bit of news is Daniel Levy does intend... No, sorry, I read that wrong. Sorry. Does not attempt to match Porto's demands for Diaz, meaning the transfer is very unlikely to happen.
Very shocked.
I'm
absolutely shocked. Stop.
Hang on. Kauffie, you're still on there. You haven't passed out or anything, though. You're still
in other news, McDonald's sell Big Macs.
Yeah. And another use the sun sets in the west. Yeah.
I mean, right, we'll skip over that because that's just the biggest load of BS you'll ever hear in your life. Daniel Levy wouldn't spend money if he depended on it. He could do it. I'll start with you, Coop, and then Ben, and then Philip. Brian Gill wants to leave Tottenham at all costs. He's not happy and is having a hard time adjusting to life and culture in England. The dressing room. The dressing room has nothing to do with his problems. What do you? It's a shame. Do you think, Coop, or would you think? Yeah, it's better for him.
Doesn't get game time. It's pointless him being here. He hasn't started for us in the Premier League. That says it all. It's just no need for him to be here. We're wasting his career. He can develop somewhere else. Even if we send him out on loan at the time being, just get him some game time.
Ben?
The source is from Mundo Deportivo, and they're not a reliable source. So maybe take that with maybe a handful of salt. It's not a good source. So I'm going to keep calm until you see him leave, or agitate to leave, or someone puts a bid in.
Do you think he should be in the starting 11, Ben?
No, not yet.
No,
I'll send him on loan.
That's the problem then, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'd send him on loan.
I disagree. I think he should be. I think when he's come on, he's looked lively. He's tried.
Who would you play him instead of, though, Dermot?
Well, Son's not injured. Since Son's injured, so I'll try and play him there while Son's injured.
And when his Son's back?
I play him as I try him in the cam role. I've always said this. Try him just behind the striker. He may be the one to unlock the key, because we haven't got that creative midfielder, and maybe try him there. He might just click in for him if they put him there, but
it's possible, I suppose. Philip, what would you think to Hill playing in the cam role, or us keeping him generally?
First of all, I wouldn't sell him. If at worst, I'd send him out on loan. Because let's face it. He's a young guy. He's 21 years of age. He's in England for 6 months. He's hardly here 5 minutes. You know, give him time. I think that guy will develop into a good player. I think it's another knee-jerk reaction of a journalist saying, "Oh, there's a guy. He's not making the first team. He mustn't be happy. Well, put a thing out. He wants to leave. Maybe he's not happy, but give it time. Send him back to Spain for 6 months. It'll have two things. It'll do one or two things. One, it'll make him more homesick for Spain if he wants to go back to Spain fully, or he'll get a few games wherever he goes to. He'll knuckle down and come back and make a success of his life at Spurs. Because I think the guy has got immense talent, and we should be able to tap into it at some stage. Maybe not this season, but possibly next.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Loan deal seems a sensible.
Don't do it best. Don't sell him. Don't sell him. I see William Kelly saying they're sending him off to Celtic. Celtic would be a great place to send Brian Hill, actually.
Yeah.
You know, if he could stick the weather up in Scotland. But
Rangers or Celtic would be good for him.
Can I just double add to that as well? He's actually come out. He's actually said them rumours weren't true.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Ben, you're spot on with your assumption on that source.
Yeah, they're not a good source.
No, I was just reading out what's on their Ben, I'll never.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was good, so I'm just reading. It's just the news, and I'm just reading.
I mean, Mundo Deportivo are like Tesco brand ketchup. Horrific.
Don't mention
If it just been saying Phil's just desperate to have first team football, well, I'd respect that because I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
I mean, keep him anyway.
This is actually from the Spurs web, from Hull Life. Tottenham are preparing a big money move for Hull City wonder kid Kane Lewis Potter before Monday's deadline. The bid will see him loaned back to Hull for the remainder of the season. Now, I haven't heard of this kid, so I don't know much about it. I don't know.
What's his name? Kane Lewis Potter.
Yeah.
So basically, you want a player with Harry Kane's name, but it's got the magic of Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yeah.
I mean, it sounds good on paper. Get him in.
Have you had much of him, Cooper? Have you?
I've only briefly saw him when I was watching the game a few weeks back, but I didn't pay any attention at the time, I must admit. So there's good reports coming in about him, but I don't know. It reeks to me of a typical Daniel Levy signing.
Yeah,
young promising player that we're going to waste their time, end up sending them on loan, and then we make a loss on them. That sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
Ben, Philip, any comments on that? Or
I agree with Cooper.
I haven't actually heard of that guy, but I mean, if he's good, like it sounds to me another Jack Clark situation.
Yeah.
A young promising player coming in from a player in Yorkshire, and ends up literally sinking without trace. I haven't heard any good reports of Jack Clark even in the under-23s lately.
I think people have been saying he's been doing well in the under-23s.
Oh, right, okay, that's fair enough.
People have been saying he's doing well there. Both him and Dane Scarlett probably just need a bit of. Apparently, they're good in their age bracket, but they need to be playing in first-team level.
Yeah,
to really see.
Good segue to the next one as well, because I've heard Jack Clark may be leaving us.
Okay.
Yeah,
on loan or permanent?
The Sunderland, I was heard mentioned.
I think right. he's having his medical today, I think, or something along them lines.
That's a loan, right?
A loan. But that might be good for the lad.
That'll be good for the lads, yeah.
With the regular football, and the thing we've got to remember, next season we've got Troy Parrott coming back. He's not sent out again. We've got Papa Sarr coming from Metz or wherever he plays for. And he's supposed to be playing he's supposed to be a very good player. You seem to forget that. That's the signing we've made that we haven't actually seen yet.
I mean, maybe that's why we're getting Amrabat on loan.
He's done very well in the ANC, apparently. I haven't watched any of the matches, but I believe he's done pretty well for Senegal.
Kuva, just answer this. Would you bring Sarr in now? Would you, if we've already bought him, would you bring him back in loan and put him into the team now?
Probably can.
Probably not, no.
Let him finish his loan.
Yeah.
Let him finish it.
He's developing well where he is. So leave him where he's settled at the moment.
Okay. Just another bit of news. Barcelona have now moved ahead of Tottenham in the race for Frank Kessie. The Spanish club are now in pole position to sign the AC Milan midfielder. Not really a surprise there, is there?
No, of course not. It costs actual money.
Yeah. This one, Sofian Amrabat. Have I said that right, Kuv?
Amrabat, yeah.
Yeah. Has suggested joining Tottenham. He's very close to joining the club and could be fully completed in the next hours. The final fees and figures of the deal are being defined. That is from the Spurs web, but that's from Toto Marcato. That's what that's from.
The Italian media. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about that, I'm sure Paratici has been watching the ANC for some little gems coming through. If you look at the amount of players from PSG, Barcelona, Bayern Munich that are in that competition, there are some gems we picked up. And maybe they spotted something. Now, let's face it, none of us had heard of Ozzy Ardiles or Ricky Villa before the World Cup in '78.
True.
Look at that went. So, let's hope that we finally unearthed the gem ahead of the other clubs and got in there before anyone else spots how good this guy is, if he is good.
Bit of news here. Jeffrey Tantanga is suspected to stay at Tottenham this month, immense interest from AC Milan. Very quickly,
They've watched his last few matches. That's why he's staying.
Yeah.
Very quick move. Do you think good move, stay, or do you think low move would have done
No,
the world good?
he needs to go. He's just not going to cut it here, is he?
No.
It's just he just doesn't seem comfortable in the slightest playing in any position in the team. I think he needs to go to get his career on track, really, because we're just bad for him at the moment.
Yeah. Philip and Ben, I mean, he had a great first game to Man City. I mean, it's gone really wrong for him since, hasn't it?
He's just not a good footballer.
No.
I mean,
He's a very good defender, but he's not a good footballer.
Yeah.
I was tipping him to get, along with Oliver Skip, to get England recognition this season. And while I still think Oliver Skip deserves it, I'm afraid Tanga has gone way back down the line a bit. He's been overtaken by numerous players. Probably that Mitchell fullback, young lad at Crystal Palace, has jumped way ahead of him. So we should be looking at him, actually. He's a very good player.
Yeah, there's a few about the Amrabat one. That's one of the ones we're linked with. I actually think will happen. That sounds like a prime sort of Spurs signing. That I hear that both Paratici and Conte quite like him, and it's in that budget range that Daniel Levy likes. So it seems like it ticks every box for us. And he could turn out to be one of those players that. What I said before the transfer window, I was expecting us to sign somebody utterly underwhelming. Fits that as well. I've just got a feeling that's happening.
Yeah. What would be a good successful transfer window for Conte in your mind? Where would I'll go for you, then Philip, and then Ben. Where would you think he could look down at 1st of February and think, right, I can work with something now? What would be a good transfer window for him, do you think?
For me, it's getting the players out. Ndombele out, Dele Alli out. Preferably Tanganga out on loan, maybe Hill out on loan. Bringing 4. If you could bring in 4 players then to replace them, even if they're not particularly overwhelmingly well known, if they're just hard working and decent in their positions, we're better off for it.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, Hill, like we've agreed, see him out on loan because there's some talent there. He's just clearly not ready for the team yet. Conte doesn't see him as a first team player, so get them out a bit of experience. The others just need to go, I think. Just freshen up the squad. Just hungry players prepared to work for a manager who they know is going to take them places because he improves players. We'll be in a much better position then.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Philip, same question to you.
Yeah, I think it's as important for Spurs this window to get rid as well as to obtain new players. You know, as the players Kuba mentioned there, especially in Ndombele and Dele, need to get rid of them. Hill possibly on loan. Getting new players in. It's gone a bit quiet on the Traore front lately. I don't know whether that's maybe the what do you call him, the Portuguese guy. Diaz thing took a bit of thing out of that one. We got Traore in. If we get Amrabat and maybe one more loan player, I think we'd be fairly satisfied. But I've said all along, it's extremely difficult to do good business in January, and it would be mainly loan signings. But if we got one permanent signing and 2 loans, I'd be reasonably happy as long as the exit door was swinging as well.
Ben?
Yeah, I agree with Philip. It's, we need to get a few more players out. We've seen Newcastle are now trying to sign Bruno Guimaraes. They've had a bid accepted. That's a player we should be going for. That is the player this team actually needs, rather than we've got 2 defensive-minded players like Højbjerg and Skip. We need a player that's going to get the foot on the ball and move it in midfield. That is what this team needs. So we should, instead of going for Diaz, who's probably an unbelievable player, I've seen that he apparently is an amazing player. We don't need Diaz. We've got plenty of attacking flair. We need a midfielder who's going to get his foot on the ball and pass it. So Guimaraes is the player we should be going for, and we should be moving heaven and earth to get him. Newcastle have had a bid accepted for £30 million. That's a steal. We should be bidding 50. We should be at least driving the price up on him.
Yeah.
That $30 million for Guimaraes is cheap.
I've got a bit of fun breaking news here. It's from Don Fitzpatrick, which I don't really trust very much. But anyway, this is what he says, and this will make you laugh, lads. It made me laugh when I read it. Tottenham are expected to be one of the top flight's busiest clubs in the final week of the transfer window. Yeah, I thought you might laugh at that.
He is a disgrace to my friend Mr. John Fitzpatrick. He is insulting that man's name. Big up John Fitzpatrick.
As Daniel Levy and Paratici frankly attempt to act on Conte's recommendations. Have you ever heard so much BS in all your life? Seriously. Very quickly, Tony Park's birthday today. So we all wish him happy birthday. The hero of the 84 UEFA Cup final. Great night. Won us UEFA Cup. Tottenham hopes of... Luis Diaz is not interested in Tottenham and clearly doesn't want to join the team who aren't in the European competition. You can't really blame him for that, can you?
No, absolutely. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me for a second. I realise I've got to have something to eat quite urgently.
Oh no,
so
you go.
just sorry. I'm still here. I'm just having a little munch, so I'll turn my camera.
Yeah,
off.
well, no, you go ahead, man.
Okay,
go ahead.
Let's read some of the comments while we're going.
Good morning.
My God.
We've got Mr. Harris with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
I'm hiding.
Oh, are we on?
Not too bad. Right. I just quickly read that. Did you hear what I just read, Dave? That Tottenham are going to be the busiest club in Europe in the final weeks of the transfer window. I mean, have you heard anything so funny in all your life?
No, look, you know, look, we're waiting till deadline day, see what comes in. For me, look, you're going to see a lot of rumours. It's just how many of them are true. You know, that's the problem.
And again, it's Bill Nicholson's birthday today, so from everyone here, big up. So he should have been knighted, that man. It's absolutely a disgrace he wasn't. And then the last bit of news is Tottenham face an uphill struggle to sign Porto Diaz, with clubs currently some way off valuation. Well, we know that's not going to happen, so there's not even no point talking about it. Dave, I asked the question to the other lads, so I asked you, what would if you were Antonio Conte and you get to the 1st of February, what would you say would be a good transfer window for you and for you to work off? So what would be successful for you if you were Conte?
Look, I'd be looking for about 2 to 3 signings, to be honest with you, Dermot. I mean, look, I know Conte has come out before and said Tottenham haven't offered me, never promised me funds and stuff like that, but you also can't ignore all the noises he's been making since the end of December all the way through to now, where he's constantly been talking about needing more help, looking to sign players. What other ways he put it? You know, he's constantly talking about the gap between us and some other teams. You know, the quality of the squad. I mean, he's making all the noise possible, putting it in I don't know how many different ways, basically saying, I need signings, I need help. And if I'll be honest with you, if I'm Antonio Conte, I mean, I've won 5 leagues in 7 years. I've won domestic trophies. I know what it takes. And if he's looking at that squad, he's probably looking at it and he's like, I probably need 2 or 3 signings just for top 4. You know, just for top 4. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, you're seeing a lot of reports coming out now over the last couple of weeks, or over the last couple of days, talking about him potentially, you know, being pissed off and maybe walking if he doesn't get the deals and that he wants. And I can see it happening. I even see it, like, even in the summer. I mean, what's not to say that other big clubs come in, say, Antonio Conte at Tottenham, they've done that and we can get him, we can offer him the money he wants to build what he wants, you know? And then he'll walk. He'll go to one of them clubs. So the onus is on Tottenham this window to get some deals done to make him happy. So basically, when it comes to the summer, that he looks around and he says, no, hang on, I like what we've done in January transfer window. Let's build on it this window. I'm going to stick around. Because if we're sitting here thinking that United won't come calling in the summer and other clubs won't come calling in the summer and try and look for Antonio Conte, and have the fun start from them. We're sadly mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that.
We have 6 months. We've literally got 6 months to get ourselves sorted out.
Shall we get through some of these comments, Coach? Because they've seemed to have backed up a little bit very quickly.
I can skim through them if you want. While people are talking, we'll just come to each one.
There was one there about the protest. I will get that up because I do want to ask that one. Where is it now?
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. If you can find it for me, and bring it up. But I will start.
You just had. It was something else, was it? Okay, right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
While you're doing that, I'll start with you, Dave, and then I go around to Cleveland Labs where he's doing that. Protest. Do you think we all want Levy out, right? We all want Levy to do business, and Brian's doing a fantastic job doing the protests and everything. But I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? Do the protests help Levy or players coming in to the club when they see people protesting that the ownership and that? Does that go against people coming to the club? I am Levy out, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So, do you know what I mean?
Does it go against players coming to this club?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't affect the players whatsoever. In my opinion, I mean, players come because of the money, the training facilities that we have to offer, because of the manager, not because of protests, not whatsoever. But what the protests do is put pressure on that baldy muppet upstairs whose wallet is always closed to actually open it and maybe get in a couple of players. That's what the protests do. They put pressure on the board. It keeps the board on their toes. It makes them maybe do stuff that maybe they didn't want to do. But it definitely won't stop players from coming to Tottenham. That's for sure.
I mean, we're all leaving out here, Philip. I mean, what do you? What's the end game for the protest for you? I mean, what would you be happy with the protest? Would you be happy with just a change of ownership? Or do you want a complete change of somebody who owns the club? What would you be happy with?
Well, I mean, I think Levy out, Enoch out goes in the same sentence, really.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's got to be. But like the worry I have, like I mean, the protests are absolutely necessary. They're so well thought out. The only thing I would say, they need publicity. They need some news media or TV station to pick up on it and get it out there so that people sitting home having their tea in the evening and say there's a protest going on at Spurs. Because other than that, who knows about the protest other than we all know about it, but who else does?
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's got to be put on on the next level up. And that's why I've been advocating long time ago, have a protest at a match, everyone turn their back on the director's box, levy out banners in every seat. That's the sort of thing that will get noticed. I mean, Brian's doing a fantastic job, but it's like a finger in the dike here. It needs to be bigger and more better publicized. I mean, they're doing more than they could humanly expected to be doing. The few lads that are doing it.
Yeah,
if that can be brought out there to a bigger audience, it will have a bigger effect.
Ben, I mean, the protests. Brian's doing a wonderful job doing the protests now. What do you think? What do you think they need to do, especially on Monday with it being deadline day? What would you think? Do you think it will make the board sign players if they see the protests out there every day, or will it just have no effect on? They don't care. They're so detached from reality that they don't actually give a hoot what happens to our club.
Well, you need numbers, and the only way we're going to get numbers is by getting it on on BBC and Sky Sports and all that stuff. And we know about it, but we have to remember, as much as we shout as loud, because we are very loud, except for Philip, who's very nicely spoken. We're all mad. But unless we are a minute section of the community. We all know about it, but let's say 5,000 people, actually 8,000 people, including David's channel and We Are Tottenham TV, and people that are Levy out and all that nonsense. We are a minute section of the community compared to the general supporting. Millions of people support Tottenham, and if only 8,000 of us are Levy out, they're going to say, "Well, you lot are just a loud vocal minority." So the only way we're going to get anywhere is with numbers, by being respectful. We can't be getting into any sort of hatred or asking for people's heads. It's got to be fully respectful. And we've got to actually have a clarification of views in terms of, if we are doing this, we've got to work together instead of all being out for ourselves. It seems like many channels are all streaming at the same time. We need to be in one place at the same time, and we've got to have the same message pulling in the movement. As long as unless we're together, we're apart. And if we're apart, we're easy to pick off.
Do you know what?
Sorry, go on, Dave.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, like, there is a lot of people that don't like Levy that maybe don't get their voices heard. Like, my old lad's one. My old lad wants Levy out, but he doesn't do social media. He doesn't do YouTube, and stuff like that. And it's like, how do you represent them voices as well and add them to what the protests are doing to make sure everyone's voice is heard and represented? Because right now, people only see the physical protest. But what about all the people that are Levy out, that maybe just don't want to protest and stuff like that? It's about looking to include all of them as well, so that it brings more power to your message then.
Because my old man is in the same boat. He doesn't want to be seen at protests. He'd rather sit in his warm, comfy chair having a cup of tea because he works 10 hours a day. He doesn't want to go up and hang out with me and Brian Daigle. He'd be like, no, stop that. I'm sitting in a warm chair. So it's going to be very difficult to get people like that. But as soon as we start getting people like that, that's when the avalanche happens. As soon as the silent majority kicks in, that's we don't need to do any work anymore. The avalanche and gravity will bring it to a new escalation.
Yeah. So that last comment you had up there, the one before the one before that one. Yeah, that one. I want to. It says Dermot Coover, Ben Phillip, you guys joining the protests. If you all make it there to help Brian Daigle, please. Anyone, any thoughts? I'll start with you, Coof. I mean, I live in Ireland. You live down in the lovely part of the country in England. What can people do if they can't get to the protest? What can people do you think to help Brian? Just
whenever he tweets, retweet it. Whenever he's on a show, big it up, share that around. Share the message. Just help him to promote everything he's doing on your online, on your social media. That's where it's really going to make the big difference. It's only a small amount of group actually at the ground protesting, but it's important that we are framing that. We are spreading that image everywhere. It will get around. It's worked before. That little handful of people outside the ground back when we played Manchester United, people were mocking them. People saying, "Oh, that'll never do anything," but it did, didn't it? People in the ground did remember that. And when the Levy out chant started, people joined in. It does work. So it may only look like a small handful there, but everybody with a mobile phone going past, or everybody with social media, it's all getting noticed. So keep spreading the message. It does get around, and it will get to people eventually. This is a growing movement. This Levy out, the momentum is gathering pace. People have had enough. Believe it or not, I used to be quite moderate with my views on Levy. I thought, he's done some good for the club. A few things I wasn't happy with, but that time's gone. He's run out of credit with me a long time ago. I'm totally fixated on him being out of this club. I can't see any way of him staying, and it's going to be okay again. He just has to go. I'm prepared to roll the dice and go with anything now. Back up Brian in any way I possibly can.
Yeah, I think we're all with you on that, Coover. Every one of us are here. Also, I'll start with you, Coover, and then I'll go to Philip, and then you, Dave, or Mike, Dave, and Philip. Sorry. What do you say to the people that are not Levy out? What do you say to them that think that Levy has gone on wrong. You've got a generation that have seen top four is the top thing we can aim for. What do you say to fans like that? How do you make them change their mind? Or
Well,
you just can't?
everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So, and if people are pro Levy, that I'm okay with them doing that as long as they keep an open mind to when we're explaining things to why our views are on Levy coming out. You don't just shut off and just dismiss it as like rubbish. Let's listen to everybody. I like to listen to both sides as well. I love to listen to Sean Butler when he's talking about the pro Levy bits. At the end of the day, it doesn't change my opinion, but I've got a more balanced view of it. And if people have got a balanced view of things, they can make an informed decision of where they think the club needs to go. But for a lot of us, 21 years of of just constant failure, really, isn't it? I mean, one League Cup is not enough for a club of our size. If you're the likes of Wigan or Portsmouth and you get one trophy, that's a great little event in their history. But for us, we should be pushing for trophies every season. Even if we're not actually winning the trophies, we should be competing. We should be one of the last ones in there in every cup competition. We should be up there pushing for that title every season. We're not. It's going to be tough. We know that, but we're making no attempt. It's like top four seems to be the point where Levy's happy to take his foot off the accelerator. So we see coast around on that because he's making the Champions League money. We make crappy little nobody signings so often. We go in the bargain bucket to try and make a quick profit out of players. You see the likes of Jack Clark never gets game time. We bought him because it's a speculative punt, make a bit of money off him. We're hoping, but it doesn't work out that way. It's mismanagement. Levy does not understand the football side of things at all. He's guesswork all the time, chopping and changing all the time. People are starting to wake up. Hopefully, people are starting to see who were Levy in can see all this happening now. And you just have to think that is 21 years this has been going on for. We even sacrificed George Graham, who wasn't popular with the club, of course, with the supporters because he's an ex-Gooner, but he'd won something. Instantly replaced him. The promise was that it was a big new future for Spurs. Got in Glenn Hoddle as because he's a fan favourite. Then you realise it wasn't about football and winning. Then it was more a token gesture to get fans on board, thinking ENIC are doing the right thing. Then the sort of underhanded stuff starts happening, and you see it's all about building up this infrastructure in the background. The team doesn't matter so much. Flop to Santini, all the managers over the course of time get lucky on a few, but generally we chop and change with no coherent direction, and it's been going on for far too long, and people are sick of it. So you can wake up and see what we're saying, or stay with your head in the sand if you like. But this movement is growing.
And can I just quickly say on Sean Butler, I do respect what he says and where he comes from. Though, everyone, we have a laugh at Sean, but Sean looks at it from a very, very his line of work and financial side of it. And we all respect Sean Butler for where he comes from. So I just wanted to put that. If you see us arguing with him on the streams and that, he's one hell of a nice guy. He really is. And he has his opinion, and like everybody else, we do respect your opinion. But it is Levy out. No question. No way. No balancing. No nothing. Dave, you grew up you started watching Tottenham under the Sugar years when Sugar was in charge. As you know, Sugar, when he bought the club with Venables, he bought ENIC and Levy and ENIC in as investors to help to buy the club of Scholar. Though for the good that he did do for saving the club, do you hold him responsible for the seeds that were sown then for what's happened to the club now?
Say that last bit again, Dermot.
Do you hold him responsible? Do you hold him responsible for sowing the seeds, for bringing in ENIC when Sugar bought the club of Scholar to what we're seeing now? Do you hold him some sort of responsible?
I don't think you can, to be honest with you. I mean, look, the guy come in, he saved the club. He won us a trophy under tight financial situation, and he sold it on and moved on. I don't think you can blame Sugar. I mean, you got to hold Enoch to account. You know what I mean? Look, we should have seen this coming for years upon years upon years. They've been snapping up all the properties around Tottenham, building their property portfolio. Look, do you know what? Don't get me wrong. I mean, up until Pochettino, you could see the club growing. You could see it growing. You could see in terms of players, the players coming in, like the squad we had, it was a quality squad and stuff like that. But under Pochettino, when you were close to a league title in 2016, close to a league title in 2017, you have that League Cup final, you have FA Cup semi-finals, Champions League final, and then you look at some of the transfers we've made over that period to not help a manager who is so close to winning trophies, you know. And like Sean, like the stat that Sean puts out about the trophies, that they're hard to get. Well, I get that, but we were also in a lot of in positions to be able to go and challenge and to be able to go and do the trophies. But it was never backed. You look at the Champions League final year. Come November, when Dembele and Wanyama's knees were shot, couldn't do it anymore. You know, we don't do anything in January. We don't try and buy a midfielder to come in and help that squad, help really push it on for the end of the season. They were just happy with what they had. You look for the league title that we missed out on in 2016. Who came in them windows over that season? Clinton NG and fucking Kevin Nkudu. I mean, how's that going to help a manager push on to win a league? You know, it's all the missed opportunities over the Pochettino era that has really pissed me off, and it's what's pissed off a lot of people. If we won a league, if we won a cup during the Pochettino era, you'd have a lot more patient fans right now, because they'd be able to sit there and say, yeah, we're going through a rebuild, but I know that chairman's going to bring in the players to rebuild this. But if he didn't do it under your most successful time, when you were close to winning trophies, now the club is in dire straits. What faith do you have that this guy is going to turn this around and bring in the players? You don't. And that's why he has to protest.
Yeah. I agree with you, Dave, and that's well said. Really well said. I do agree with it. Did you get William Kelly's email? He was asking.
Oh yeah, I got it, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was up with these two nutters chatting until 3:30 this morning. So I kind of slept in a little bit. So I do apologise. I haven't actually checked any social media. I woke up and I was like, "Fuck, Tottenham Tantrum goal," and ran straight out here. So, but William, I did see it. Yeah,
it's not my fault. I'm being led astray by the Irish.
I'll be back at 1 sec, lads. I'm just going to the jacks quickly.
You're a bit outnumbered this morning, Coof.
I was, yeah.
Philip, just quickly, question to you. You've been supporting Tottenham for a long time now, and you've seen different owners, the Wales and Richardson families, to Ivan Scholar, to Sugar, now to Levy and Enoch. Where do you think, which ownership do you think was the best for Tottenham? And do you think any future owners that come in, where do they need to look at to think, right, this is the right platform to go on? If you could pick up all the owners we've had in the past, new ones coming in, where would you say to them, that's how you run a football club?
Well, the Richardson / Whale era, that was real old school. You know, that was back in the 60s and 70s when, you know, things were different. How can I put it? To me, the most important ownership we've had, and he's not everybody's cup of tea, and I apologise for that if you don't agree with this answer, he's the man that literally saved the club back in 1991, it's Alan Sugar. Because if he hadn't come in then, we probably would have fallen under the clutches of Robert Maxwell. And whatever happened, and we all know what happens shortly after that. There probably wouldn't be a Tottenham Hotspur if he'd have owned the club at the time, because with the Mirror pension fund thing and all that money that was missing, we probably could have got swallowed up in the whole thing. So from that point of view, the critical ownership, I'm not saying it's the best ownership because there was mistakes made, lots of them, was Alan Sugar. He got us out of the clutches of Irving Scholar, who are put down as going at the other end of the scale. Irving Scholar would be literally on a neck-to-neck race with Daniel Levy for the worst owner we've had.
Yeah.
He was shocking. And Levy, the fact that he's been there for 20 years is we'll get the votes for that. But just to digress slightly, I'm raging here this morning. I'm getting an email from Tottenham Hotspur, right? And I don't know if you read in the paper there recently, but the Spurs are not filling the grounds at the moment. There's empty seats at every match we play. Now, that could be down to COVID. It could be down to a lot of reasons, right?
Yeah.
But I'm after getting a ticket, an email from Tottenham, giving me the opportunity to buy a premium level ticket for the Guns N' Roses concert in July at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I got one as well.
Right. He's looking for the princely sum of 499 quid for a seat in a box, a 3-course meal. You have to buy your drink, right? But for 299 quid, you get exactly the same package, but with no meal. So you're charging 200 euros for a meal, you know? But he will be more upset if that ground is not filled on those 2 nights than he is if we don't fill it against Wolves, if we don't fill it against Southampton.
Yeah.
It's the mindset where the soccer is second class, a second class citizen. All he's interested in is making money out of other aspects of the ENIC banner, be it property, be it rock concerts, be whatever. And that's what sickens me. The energy should be being put into the club, not to the ancillary events to make him more money and Joe Lewis more money. Here ended the lesson.
Exactly, Philip. I couldn't agree with you more. Kuva, I mean, we've seen. Hang on, excuse me. You just need to take over there for a minute, Kuva.
Okay, I'll have a guess what the question is. We've seen the Teletubbies. We've seen In the Night Garden. What kind of Dermot reference is he going to give Levy now?
Here's the answer to the question.
Guess at it. Philip. How effective do you think the protests are going to be? Do you think it's entirely about building the social media campaign?
Yeah.
Do you think that sort of physically being there is going to start affecting players and staff coming into the ground as well?
It mightn't affect players because, as far as I can see, the players are so wrapped up in cotton wool they probably didn't even notice these things. I'd be more concerned about the effect it has on the agents that dictate where the players actually go to. You know, like a player will go where his agent tells him because it's all down to money, basically. But if he says, listen, there's a bit of trouble going on at Tottenham, maybe you should avoid that for a while. You know, like the protests are necessary, and probably the chances of us losing a player because of them is very, very slim. But it's the size and the scale of the protest that needs to be upped, or else, like I guarantee you, Kuva, there's probably 20,000 people that go to Tottenham every match. But while they know Levy's a problem, they're not really asked whether he stays or not. You know, as long as they get their match every Saturday or Sunday and whatever, and we're doing reasonably well, they're probably happy with that. Whereas us fans, the fans that really dig into things, are getting to the stage where we can see the problems that Levy has caused and continues to cause, and we want him out. But your average Joe Soap might not be as committed as that. He's quite happy to see things going along the way things are. You know, and they're the people we have to convince that Levy has to go.
Yeah.
But you know
sorry
what?
about that. Sorry,
Never
it was
ever-
just.
Sorry, Jan.
Sorry, Dave. Go on. No, go on, Dave.
I was
Sorry.
just going to say off the back of what Philip said. When you see some of them criticising Pochettino to defend Daniel Levy, never ever going to turn them people ever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There are people that will never ever move up. They just stay the way they are, and nothing will move them.
Yeah. Sorry, Don. I just one I was going to reply to on here.
Yeah.
Ryan McFarlane saying, "I
Yeah,
wanted them out since they did Martin Joel dirty at half time. Get ENIC out." I was going to say to that, from me personally, I started having serious doubts even before then. It's the whole takeover when Levy came in. They got rid of George Graham, who had just won us a trophy and turned us back into what was a cup side. a bit dodgy in league form, but that's another story. We've always been happy with being a cup side in the past as well. Brought in Glenn Hoddle, and Levy made a big point of saying it's for footballing reasons. He knows what Spurs fans want to see. They want to see the style of football that's associated with the club, and everybody bought into that. It's Glenn Hoddle. He's an absolute legend. He's one of the Mr. Tottenhams at the club. So it was a big PR stunt in the end, because what happened when Hoddle didn't deliver the sort of top four that Levy wants to build his business model on, brings in Jack Santini. How is that anything to do with the style of football that Spurs fans want? As soon as he did that, I just suddenly thought, you know what? This is all bullshit. This man is not talking anything about the football. Hoddle was in purely to appease fans, get them on board that Levy and Neenet coming in was a good thing. As soon as Santini was coming in there, if you look back at it now, it's easy to spot it. It was bullshit. It was nothing to do with the football at all. It's just grabbing a few token gestures to make you think, oh, we're pushing in the right way, reclaiming Spurs, our glory days, and it's been nothing of the sort. So Martin Yule was the tipping point for a lot of people, though. That was disgraceful.
Yeah. It was for me as well. I did send you a reply to your message.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I did send you a reply to that private message, by the way.
All right, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to put in the link in the chat for?
No, of course I'll do that.
William Kelly, yes, you said you wanted to come on now. We'll have you on, definitely, mate.
Oh,
yeah, listen, I'm going to have to go now in a minute, lads. Anyway, but if I can just make one further point, I think a lot of us fell into the trap around the time of this new stadium being built. I think some of us felt there's Levy giving us a new stadium, giving us a new training ground. Surely the next thing is he's going to give us a team to fill both ends. He hasn't done it, and that to me is his biggest failing. And we have to thank him for the ground and the training and whatever. But as I keep saying, you can't have a Rolls Royce of a thing and a lawnmower engine doing it. I mentioned Ford Escort the other day, they're going to trouble, so I better not do that anymore. But it's half-hearted, really, what he's doing. Guns and Roses to me are more important to him than Tottenham Hotspur, and that's sad. And with that, I have to go, lads. A bit of work to do here, so we'll see you soon. Dave, talk to you soon.
I'll see you, Philip. See you soon, my man.
Pleasure.
See you, Philip. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. See ya.
Oh, what a man. What a legend. I love Philip.
Yeah. And we've got another legend coming on. This man, all the way from Australia. He really is Dave's backup man in the fight against Levy. He is the one. He is the only. He is Mr. William Kelly. How are you, sir? Lovely to meet you.
Good, boys. How are you?
Good here, mate. Good to see you again.
I'm looking a bit rough at the moment.
We all are, mate.
Yeah.
Don't worry. And that's not just the transfer window then doing it, is it?
That's it. I just woke up and I got the notification bell, and I wanted to catch this show. I just heard you talking about Martin Yule. Martin Yule was one of my favourite managers. I loved him because he was all about Tottenham, wasn't he? He just loved us. And to be honest with you, when they sacked him at halftime as well, that was my tipping point as well. I was like, these people are not for us. Never have been. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to get rid of them. I don't know how it's all going to pan out, basically, but something has to change, you know?
Yeah, sure. I mean, today's Bill Nicholson's birthday. I mean, if he could see what the club he built has turned into, I mean, that. Oh Jesus,
he'd be horrified, Dermot. You know, he'd be horrified. This is not a club anymore, anyway. You know, we're not a football club. What we should be named as is Tottenham Real Estate Football Club.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we are.
Yeah,
a real estate company.
The heart of the club has died, and that for years it's been like on life support. Now it's dead.
Yeah.
There is no club left. It's
I mean,
just,
if you look at it, okay, you look at the other ones next door to us, Arsenal. They're going exactly the same way as we are. They're heading that same direction. Absolute same direction with the owners of that club as well. They don't give a shit about the fans either, you know. And I think a lot of their fans are starting to realise that, but they're probably light years behind where we are now. We're at the point where we've just had enough now. You know, because they've had so much success in the 90s, they'll accept it up to a point where, like we have, but now we're at the point where it's just a breaking point where we've had enough now, you know. We can't do this anymore. And it's not good for people's health either. Like, I see it in all the chats and all the Tottenham streams, from your show, David, to Tottenham Tantrum, to We Are Tottenham TV, to all of them. I go on all of them, and you can see it. You can see the stress on people. The stress levels are just phenomenal. Like, and when it comes to transfer market as well, that's when people like really get stressed out. What I tend to do now is I tend to not look at it anymore, because I know exactly we're not getting, you know, that whole Diaz thing. Now that fucking made me laugh straight away. You know, that's a joke. That's just another one of those PR Enix stunts, basically.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah, exactly. They're always trying, you know, but they never get anything.
please.
But yeah, there's too many managers gone to waste. There's too many fantastic players that have left this club that never won a trophy with this club. And as I said on David's show, you know, you look at Sol Campbell's interview with Gary Neville. That's telling us. Like, Sol Campbell has just spelled it out there for every Tottenham fan that those owners have no interest in football, never have and never will.
It's kind of like, I know what you mean with the transfer windows. It's like quite often get asked the question on different channels, who would you like in? What about Vlahovic and that sort of thing? So I always say, yeah, why not? And then I'll go, well, let's have Bastoni and Barella as well, because you might as well start treating yourself there, because we all know it's in fantasy land, don't we? We're not going to be getting anybody like that.
No, not a chance of it.
Yeah.
Not a chance of it. That's why I was laughing at the Arsenal fans. You know, they actually thought they were going to get Vlahovic. Like, they're at the same level that we are. Like, they need to wake up fast too, or their club is going to go down to Swanee too. And I don't like to see that, to be honest with you. Like, I know there's rivalry and people hate clubs and whatnot, but I still don't want to see that happen to any club, to be quite honest with you.
To be fair
or
to
any
them,
fan have to go through that shit.
To be fair to them, they've actually spent a bit recently, haven't they?
They have, but they bought shit on. Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're buying the shit that we usually buy.
Yeah, seems to be.
You know?
Seems to be.
Right,
Yeah.
I want to ask you all a question. Right, I'll start with Dave and then go to you in Vancouver. How do we fix this? Or how do we fix the mess we're in? Who do you want to see come in and buy the club, and what do you want them to do?
Dermot, the only way of fixing this is either they sell up and you get someone else in. Because let's be honest, I mean, with what the club is valued at, 3.5 million, you're not getting someone that's going to come in here and scrape pennies. You're going to get someone like an Abramovich, like one of them oil owners with serious money, that where they treat it like it's one of their toys. So let's put that. Let's put the notion to the end that you're going to get someone like a Mike Ashley in here. You're not with the way Tottenham is valued. He wouldn't be able to afford it, that fucker anyway. But look, you know, it comes down to spending the money. Let's be honest about it. It comes down to making sure what you're spending your money on as well is the right player for this club, has the right mentality, has the right set of skills. I mean, especially over the last few years, we've sat here, we're watching Davinson Sanchez, we've watched Sissoko, Serge Aurier. You're watching players who can't even do the basics of football, which is control the ball and pass it. You know, it's what we spent some of the money on is absolutely fucking shocking. And there's more. Look at Matt Doherty. Honestly, the guy can't pass football either. So you're looking at some of the quality that we have spent our money on. It's been absolutely shocking. But every single transfer window, whether it's the summer, whether it's January, and they could even put a pop-up surprise one in March, Tottenham will have an excuse not to spend money. Every single window. Oh, we can't spend because money's tight. Oh, we can't spend because we have too many foreign players at the club. Oh, we can't spend because we need homegrown players and they're too expensive. Oh, we can't spend because of this. We can't. I have had enough of it. I've fucking had enough of it. I mean, they're well able to spend on the 65 cinema apartments in the cinema and not have an excuse about having the money. They can put plans for Levy Land forward. You don't hear them having excuses saying we can't put in the abseiling down to your seat because it's too expensive. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. I've had enough. And there's no excuse for it. I mean, I'm going to pick a couple of clubs here. Look at Brighton. They've come down from lower leagues, League One, League Two, built a new stadium, sustained themselves in the Premier League, and have a decent little footballing team there. Spend their money, they recruit wisely. Look at Leicester. From 2006 to 2007, I think League Two. Look where they are now. Brand new stadium, or a new enough stadium. Owners who invest to actually improve the team and help the team year up, year out. They've won a Premier League and an FA Cup. You know, you look at Aston Villa. They've gone down, been relegated, come up, sustain themselves in the Premier League. They don't have excuses on why to spend money. I mean, there's loads of clubs. I mean, Burnley Football Club. The fans know the money's tight down there. But when it comes to transfer windows, I never hear anything about Burnley not having money to be out there to get in a couple of players to help the situation. It's only at Tottenham Hotspur, and I'm fed up with it all the time. I'm sick of it. They have the money to be able to do everything else they want, put like the stadium, the training complex and all, and like I said, the plans they have going forward, but yet can't find money for transfers. And that's why you're seeing more empty seats than usual. Why do real football fans, let's be honest, fans that know football, fans that enjoy football being played the right way, older fans, I'm like you guys here, sorry guys, but you have grey hair, I don't. And you know, just normal fans who want to see a good footballing team don't give a shit about the other side of things that are here for the football. They're not going because they don't want to watch Davinson Sanchez, Matt Doherty, Ben Davies, players who cannot pass a football. They don't want to watch it. It's fucking woeful. It's hard. It's a struggle watching games now, you know, and it's going to keep going like that. It will keep going like that unless they put in investment. If Conte comes and ends up going and then it comes out it's because of lack of investment, I mean, let's be honest, he will tell the truth when he goes as well. Look what he done to Chelsea. I hope they get relegated and I left because they wouldn't back me. Or I got sacked and the infight started because they wouldn't back me. I mean, after Jose Mourinho and Conte, realistically, what world-class manager are you going to get in here? The point is, the whole idea with getting Conte in, no, there's not. The whole idea of getting Conte to come here was because it's a manager you can trust, that you know if you do it his way, he will get you back to where you need to go and potentially win trophies. That's why he was brought in here, to steady the ship, change the playing squad, and give us something going forward. Then when he goes, everything else is already implemented and in place for someone else to come in and take over and just keep steering that ship. But we're not going to do it under Conte. We brought in Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte to get the best out of average squad players that were never in the starting lineup under Pochettino. And the reason why we've brought them in is because they're world-class coaches, world-class managers. And for some reason, Daniel Levy thinks with all their skills, they can get this to top four. They have no intentions of winning trophies. They just want the world-class manager's ability to be able to steer this current crop of dog shit to top four. And that's it.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%, Dave. You can't really add anything to that, can you?
No, I was just going to pick up a mic and drop it for David.
Yes.
I can add one thing to it, Dermot. Hold on till I pull a few billionaires out of my back pocket.
I do have a bit of official breaking news. It's not us buying anyone. Jack Clark has officially joined Sunderland on loan to the.
Good for him. Good for him.
Who's Jack Clark?
The guy who spent fucking 15 million on the prick.
Yeah.
Exactly. Joke
It is a
club,
joke.
man. Joke. We're a joke club. I go on some of those Arsenal podcasts and Chelsea podcasts just to see what they're saying about Spurs, and they are absolutely tearing us to pieces. They think we're a joke, man. That's all we are.
We
Like,
think
Levy
we're a
and them don't
joke.
care about the health of Tottenham supporters. They couldn't care less, you know.
Have we
They
got
just
some
think we're a
laughing
joke club, man. We're a laugh. Everyone laughs at us.
We have everything ready made for success. I mean, we have the training ground, we have the manager, we have the stadium. We even, in fact, we have every other fucking club that hates us in the league. Every person involved in the Premier League making decisions hates Tottenham. All we constantly hear is Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. Even that you use as a recipe towards success. You bring in players that will revel and fucking love hearing that. Feed off the back
Exactly,
of that,
David.
get out there and perform.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
all the ingredients here to be able to sustain a successful Tottenham team and use that hate to be able to sustain yourself and bring trophies for years.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to do it. Daniel Levy, he just carries on letting them sing about us like that. And it frustrates us fans because there's nothing we can do about it because we're not on the pitch. In fact, all I want to do is run into the middle of them and kick shades of shit out of other fans, of rival fans that sing that to us and stuff like that. But the reason why fans get so frustrated is because there's nothing we can do about it to put respect on our name, but follow our team. But the people that can do stuff about it is the people on the pitch, and the owners put the right people on the pitch to do something about it.
I personally, I think Levy's forgotten the golden rule, and it was the Bill Nick rule. We all won't be here, but the only people that will be here to the end of time is the fans.
Yeah, that's it. That's you said earlier on, Dermot. You know, how do we fix this? It's us. The fans will fix this. All right, no one else.
No.
We are the ones that will fix this, because the difference is, and what Levy and Ennick don't understand is that we'll always stick together. We might have a bit of in-road fighting and stuff like that about decisions, but we will always stick together when it comes to this club. And when it boils down to the right moment, when we do eventually get rid of these people, and hopefully, and I pray to God, fingers crossed, that we get in. I fucking hope it's some billionaire, what do you call it, oil people, to be honest with you. I want to win trophies. I'm sick and tired of being like shit, doing nothing. We're just non-existent in the world of football. We float around. We win an odd game here and there, like beating Leicester the other day. I mean, we shouldn't be celebrating that, because we know exactly what's coming next. You know, I knew we'd get beat by Chelsea again. I said it to you on your show, Kuva. I said it to you. Well, they'll beat us again. And if we were to play them another 10 times, they'll beat us again.
Yeah.
Because they've got the mental capacity to beat us every time. And it's the players at this club as well. There's so many of those players that need to be got out of this club badly.
There's another thing that really really grinds on me about Levy when it comes to transfers, and that's it. You look at the amount of people that say afterwards, chairmen from other clubs saying, "Oh, it was a terrible experience, one of the worst experiences of my life with negotiating with Daniel Levy." There's clubs that say they don't want to negotiate with us ever again, refuse to do business with us because of him.
Well, Southampton are one.
Well, Man United said it. Alex Ferguson said it was terrible experience dealing with us. Leon as well with Hugo Lloris. There's just countless. There's countless, and even ones we don't know about. But you know what goes on with him. We all know. He's even said he enjoys that haggling experience. It's fun for him. Now, if you compare that animosity that you get from other clubs with dealing with ours when it comes to transfers, and then you compare it with things that you see in the business world elsewhere, you'll see they're big up on it on films because it's a sort of representation of what does happen. when you get big deals happening between people involving millions of pounds, they crack open the champagne, they celebrate it. Both parties have got something worthwhile out of it. It's a happy thing. It's like a proper agreement.
A happy
It's the
medium.
end of a conflict.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be able to go back to clubs and they just say, "Oh, hello, Daniel. Good to hear from you again," and they start off on a good note when you're talking about transfer of players. We just don't do that, and it's all the time. It's costing us.
Do you know what I would love to know? I'd love to speak to every other chairman in the Premiership about their experiences with Daniel Levy. And then I'd like to write a book about it, because I'm sure that would be the best-selling book ever. Could you imagine some of the stories that they would tell you? It would be unbelievable.
Was it Edwards, the Man United chairman, said he was the most hardest man to do business with when he was trying to buy Berbatov?
Yeah.
I think it was something along them. We've got a question here from, is it Sunhat? Is it Goof?
Oh, Sushant Basal.
Yeah.
You guys really think Conte's going to be backed? I put my hearts. I really don't think so. So what about you, David, Philip, Darwin, and Coover? I don't think we'll get the proper backing he wants. I think he'll go in the summer. I think it'll be an entirely woeful sort of attempt to keep him in the summer. No real funds going into it. I think he'll hang on to the rest of the season, though, because it won't look good on his CV if he walks out halfway through a season. He joined halfway through.
He doesn't tend to walk out anyway, Kuva. He tends to see the season out at the end. But I honestly, me personally, I think they have to back him. I think they're backed into a corner now. They know that there's going to be hell to pay. I think you can see it across social media. You can see it even on Sky Sports now when they're doing the Tottenham games. All the commentators are saying the same thing. He has to back this manager. He's a proven winner. They have to back him. They haven't backed previous managers. They're all saying it. And I think they've backed themselves into a corner. And they know what's coming next.
The trouble is, it's the conflict between why Nick and Levy are here, which is to make money, and the fact that they're going to have to dip into some of that money to fix what's broken there. Is it going to happen? That's the big question.
I get that.
Do you know what, though? We all sat here and said it under Jose Mourinho. I get what some people's Jose's thoughts, but everyone said it under Jose Mourinho as well, and it never happened. Look, the problem is we don't do anything this summer to convince Conte that the owners are willing to put something right. I'm telling you now, Man United are looking for a new manager come the summer. Other big clubs looking for managers with massive money to spend. If they come calling for Antonio Conte, what decision has he got to make? Do I stay at Tottenham in the hopes that Daniel Levy said he will back me, but yet he hasn't proven it? Or do I go to a club where they've come in and said, you know what, Antonio, you've got 150 million to spend. We're going to get in the players you want to get in, and we'll go down the route you want to go. He's gone. He's out of here. It all may be well and good him staying here to the end of the season, but we're fucking playing with fire if you don't get in anyone this window to try and convince him that there is a plan here going forward. There is that they do want to back. I get going big in the summer because it's where you can get a lot of the big deals done. But fuck me, man. The last time we went big is when we put in the points filling from the bottom at the stadium. It's an absolute joke. You know, it's an absolute fucking joke. They got. Look, you look at Newcastle. Their owners have done everything to try and stay in the Premier League. They're putting bids for Sven Botman, who Spurs were linked with 2 seasons ago. They put in a bid that me and Jack have been talking about this player for ages. Bruno Guimaraes.
They got him, David. They've got him. They got him, apparently. They've accepted.
But this is my point. People tell me you can't get these deals done in January. I'll say, you stump up the money, you will get the player. Especially in times like this. This is times for Tottenham to go capitalise on this because a lot of clubs are in financial trouble. A hell of a lot of them. They need the money. You look at Porto. They need money for Diaz to be able to meet financial fair play regulations and stuff like that. Even last season when they changed the financial fair play regulations, took a year. I think they wiped last year off it completely. Tottenham could have went to spend what they wanted there. Never, ever been in trouble for it. That was the time to go big. Chose not to do it. It's an absolute piss take, this. They just have to get in the players, man. Otherwise, Conte is going to go. Fans are going to have absolutely nothing to get behind. Fans are going to walk away from this club in their droves. And then, what then? The fans that are going to walk away from this club are fans like us guys here. Fans who want to see Tottenham be the very best. Fans who want to win trophies. Fans who care about the style of football and how we win. The fans that will be left are the fans that are happy to go there for a day out, bring their buddy with them, show off. I've got this seat here, corporate ticket. So-and-so, so-and-so. That's the fans you're all going to have left at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Once that's the only fans you have, the club is dead. And to be honest with you, wouldn't surprise me if that's what the fans they want left at this club. They don't want some council estate boy like me with a beard who's very aggressive with the way he comes across, who's stupid with his words, screaming from the stands. They don't want people like me there. They don't want average people like me there. They want people that go there for the day out, for the experience. Oh, look at the stadium, look at the cheese room. Oh, let's go and pay fucking whatever it is for the pint that fills from the bottom. Isn't that magnificent? I'm not going to sit there and talk about the pint filling from the bottom. I'll be talking about the football. But they don't want people like me there. They want people there for a day out, for an entertainment day. That's it. And once we go from this club dies.
I think, Dave, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, this club for me, I've following this club now for 41 years. And it was alive under Birkinshaw. We had a mini revival under David Fleet for that one great season. And it's been dead since. We've had little blips here and there. But it's been a life support. Levy and Enoch have killed our club. And do you know what upsets me? What upsets me the most? It's the great Bill Nick, Arthur Rowe, Jimmy Dimmick, who scored the winner in the 21 Cup final, the 1901 side that won the Cup as a non-league club. You go through all the generations of every Spurs fans. Kubik, your dad was a Spurs fan. Your grandfather was a Spurs fan. Dave, the same for you. William, the same for you.
My dad's a Manchester City supporter, actually.
All right, but that spun that out of the water.
But I honestly, like my brother's a Liverpool supporter. My younger brother, is an Everton supporter. So we got a mixture in our house.
Yeah.
But I used to go over to the matches with my dad to Main Road. So when City were in the second division and the first division, and then up the championship, and then up to the Premiership, and I have to say I loved it. Like I get where City are now, and I'm happy for my dad. That he got to see them win a Premiership, and I think he's just happy with that. That day that they won that Premiership with Aguero, I remember being there, and he nearly died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because he thought they had messed it up. But unbelievable. And there's some people that have passed away that used to go over to the matches with us. And I would go to the matches, and my dad we'd be sitting there with all the City supporters in the bars drinking, and they'd ask me, so how long have you been supporting City? And I didn't want to say anything, And my dad would just get up in the middle of everyone and go, oh, no, he's a fucking Tottenham supporter. Yeah. I'm like, oh, shit. But they always welcomed me, I have to say, and we always had a good time. And I loved going to the football, to be honest with you. I mind my dad telling me when he used to go in the 70s to watch City, and he said he stopped going to the football because of the racism and the pure violence in the stands was bad. He said they used to throw the darts down from the top tiers onto their own supporters. And he said once he seen that was him. He didn't go back to football until the 90s, Yeah. Yeah, which he said it was pretty bad, like.
Just quickly, boys, I have to go. I have somewhere else I have to be at 1:30. But look, massive thank you for having me. I do apologise, I was a slight bit late, but I was up late dealing with you guys last night, a bit tired, slept it out. But honestly, it's been absolutely brilliant. And William, it's great to see you again, my man. Love chatting to you. I did get your email, and I will be in contact. But everybody, make sure you smash the subscribe on this channel. Make sure you smash that like button. And boys, enjoy the rest of your show, all right?
Yeah.
Cheers,
Thanks,
David.
Oh,
David.
Pleasure as always, mate.
See you, Derby.
Yeah.
See you, lads.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Coof,
So
I mean, where do we go from here, Coover? Where do we go from here, lads? I mean, 1st
Levy
of
out.
February,
Levy
out.
out. That's it.
That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly
Nothing
what
else to do.
exactly what Koo was saying, Dermot. We just need to get rid of them. They have
Yeah.
to go. You know, they have to. There's no ifs or buts now. I mean, that stadium that was built, I wish we still had White Hart Lane, to be quite honest with you. That stadium wasn't built for football. That was built so they could make an absolute fortune off
I've been like
everything
you,
else.
William. I've said that
Yeah.
as well. I've said it
Yeah.
to Coover as well. I really miss. I'm going to the stadium on the 13th. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited because I'm going to watch my team play, but it's a tinge of sadness because I'm not going to White Hart Lane. It's
I
not
actually-
the White Hart Lane I know.
I was
Yeah.
home, I think it was 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And I went over on Boxing Day for Tottenham against Southampton when Harry Kane scored a hat-trick to Wembley. I went, my younger brother came with me, and that was a good day out. We had a really good day that day. I think Spurs won 5-2 or something, and it could have been like a 10-6 or the way that game went. Yeah, I remember that game well. But there's one game, I think I said it to you, I think I sent a message the last time, and it stands out. I don't know why it stands out so much for me, but it was actually Southampton. We were playing Southampton. It's the time when we had Teddy Sheringham and Nicky Barmby and players like that and Darren Anderson. But we scored 4 goals in 4 minutes and 44 seconds. And I
was at that game, William.
You were at that game, Dermot.
I was at that game. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been unbelievable.
It was. I went with my dad and my younger brother at the time. We were at that game. It was a Good Friday, I think, was it? I think it was around Easter time.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. Yeah, and we were 1-0 down as well, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. And it was goal after goal after. It was like bang,
it
bang,
would have
bang,
been
bang.
just unbelievable. That's still a record, I think. I think that's still a record, yeah.
It is.
We've had some unbelievable we've had some unbelievable goal fests against Southampton in particular over the years.
Yeah.
We've had some crazy last day results against them. 6-3 and stuff like that. Actually, that one might have been Luton. I might have been mistaken, but it was a regular sort of thing because it's one of the clubs that comes up over the Christmas period quite often for us, as well as the local derbies. Southampton tend to pop up in that period as well. And
yeah, Luton.
Crazy.
Luton, there's a blast from the past, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Do you remember the plastic pitch?
Yeah.
And Luton used to beat all the top teams.
I also remember us beating them when we went down to 9 men against their 10.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
That was a mad game.
I just remember David Pleat running onto the pitch when Luton survived. It was like a man possessed run into that pitch.
I remember the game against Oldham when we had to win to stay in the Premiership. And I'll never forget that night. I cried that night because I thought we were going down.
Yeah.
And the reason why I cried, not just because I love Spurs, but I knew what I would have to face going to school after that. And I just didn't want to face it. And I'll never forget.
Vinny Samway's winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Vinny Samway's, and did Darren Anderton score as well?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think it was Darren Anderton, yeah.
I mean, poor old Lozzie. He wasn't the greatest manager, but bless him, you got to say he tried.
No, I'll never forget Ozzy Ardiles when we went to play Manchester City at Main Road. Yeah. And that was unbelievable. And I remember Stuart Nethercott was the only defender left and 5 City attackers attacking us and everyone else was up the other end of the field. And I just thought, we can't keep playing like that. That's mental.
But to be fair to Sugar, he backed him the next in the summer, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Ozzy, he's a gentleman. He's easy to, fall in love with someone like him.
Ozzy, if you're watching, we love you on your channel and bring Ricky on as well. So we'd love to get the link scoop on YouTube. I mean, we love our club. We all do. You, me, Dave does, everyone does. It isn't our club anymore, is it?
No.
I don't. It's not. It's not Tottenham Hotspur. It's Tottenham Franchise Club. It's not a football club. And
Yeah, but I
it
think a lot of football is changing like that, though,
yeah,
Dermot. You
I
know.
think it is. But
You
I
see, the
feel
thing is, some of us need to do the German model, where the fans have their say, and I think the English game needs to pick up on that pretty soon, because
it does.
I think a lot of the fans are getting and it's not just Tottenham fans; it's right across the board. I think a lot of fans are getting disillusioned with the way they're being they don't have their say anymore in these clubs. And I think it's wrong. You know, it's wrong on many levels.
I saw a report the other day very quickly. I just wanted to come off the Levy thing. I just saw this report the other day by the Metropolitan Police about football incidents have gone up by sort of 36 or 46% from last season. I'll start with you, Kuva, and then I'll come to you, William. Do you think football hooliganism is starting to creep back into the football again? Or do you think it's just because of the pandemic? And
it always seems to be linked to what's happening in society. Times are difficult now. People get turned into extremes. There's violence outbreaks. There's a lot of hatred flying around. It spills over into the football, of course it does. Because, like I said, football does tend to reflect the sort of the man on the street, the average punter. But people get frustrated and they look for avenues to release that frustration. So it's definitely sort of, there's been an undertone of it anyway. When you talk about Spurs, West Ham, Millwall, Chelsea, Arsenal, you're always going to get these. You're always going to get these flashpoints happening, some more than others. But it's a sad sign of the times, really. Unfortunately, it starts going political again then as well, doesn't it? I mean, there's a rise of fascism. There's a rise of both left and right wings, like Ben was saying the other morning as well. It's hard times. People aren't their usual sort of more forgiving, sort of liberal-minded selves that we would be if everybody's got food on the table, a couple of quid in their pocket to go to the cinema with, and everything's fine when that's the case. But when it isn't, this is the sort of thing that creeps in more and more.
Yeah, don't worry, Levy's got a cinema coming. You can go and watch it there, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure Levy will have the latest, Spurs history playing on there.
The first movie will be How to Ruin a Football Club.
It will be. Yeah, directed and stars Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
just to touch on what Kuva said, I think he's hit the nail on the head. It's a social thing. It always has been. You know what I mean? Like you look at like I was talking about earlier on in the 70s when football hooliganism was pretty bad. I mean, right up to the 90s as well. It was pretty shocking too, but they did stamp down on it pretty well, and I think they just need to do it again, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But I feel sorry for. I just froze to say, but look at society, and it is. But it's just depressing. You look at our club, and you look at society, and then you look what's happening to our club. It's just a bit depressing. We need a bit of a pick me up from somewhere. We need a big Marquez signing, and
here's one.
Happen.
Here's one. This might help. Cole Simpson saying TalkSport are reporting that the hashtag Back Conte trend is trending from Spurs fans.
Ooh, that is good.
That's what I'm saying. Social media will be the downfall of it. You watch.
Yeah.
It's the only way. Like I love Brian Daigle, and I love that he's put it all on his shoulders to drag it over the line, and them going out there protesting, and it will have an effect. But I think social media is the way to hit them.
Yeah.
And when people start, hashtagging those sort of things, that's when that trend hits, and the message will get rammed home to Enoch and Levy, and to that Joe Lewis as well. And if Joe Lewis ever watches this, I just want to send this message to you, Joe Lewis. You should be ashamed of yourself. You really should be, because there's been generations of Spurs fans that have went and never seen success at this club, all because of you. But
Nice.
you know what? You know what, Lewis? I'm just glad that you have a fantastic art collection. Remember something, though. You can't take that with you. Rant over.
I like
can't
it. I
even
like
beat
it.
that. I like that. I think
Well, but it's true, though. You know, like I watched that rant that. Did you watch that one that Mr. K did the other day?
Legendary.
Oh my God, I was wetting myself laughing. And that man is one of the gentlest people you could ever meet. But he's frustrated. You could see he's frustrated, like, and that's terrible. Like, I feel sorry. As I said before on the Irish Hotspur, I feel sorry for every Tottenham fan. I really do. My heart bleeds for every Tottenham fan because it's like the Pochettino era. Like, I remember sitting back on the couch and watching Tottenham and going, Jesus Christ, we could win the Premiership here. We're like that close to it now. And then look where that all ended up, you know?
Yeah.
And
what's that there, Couth? Who the Spurs become part of Fisher Partners of?
Big Commerce.
Who are they? Never heard of them.
I'm not sure exactly who they are, but if you look at the words alone, you think it's going to be one of these sort of globalism type companies, isn't it? That's what we're all about as well. Yeah, I'm looking into that one later.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start scrolling through the comments.
Yeah,
As far too many
it's no point reading them because we've got so many. I mean, it's been a brilliant show this morning. It really has. I've really enjoyed myself this morning.
Yeah, big up to everybody in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm just sort of having a point at them and move on because we've just got too many to get through now.
Just got another bit of news in. Porto have no interest and no intention to accept Tottenham's first offer at £35-40 million for Luis Diaz. Still complicated. The club is still trying to get. Yeah, right. Okay, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're more trying to get him than me going to walk out the house and find €1 million at my doorstep. That's how convinced I know that Tottenham ain't going to sign him, because I know there ain't going to be €1 million at my doorstep. I mean, that's just makes my blood boil.
This comment especially, a Tavakron saying the losing mentality on the field is the direct and ultimate result of the mindset that is actively instilled at the very top of the club.
Yeah.
The fish rots from the head down. It does indeed.
Exactly.
When Levy's objective is just to reach top four and nothing else matters, that's all we're ever going to achieve at best.
Yeah.
And it's played out, hasn't it? So bang on.
I blame Arsene Wenger for that. He's the one that started that shite.
Yeah.
He's the one that started that top four shite. Like it was a battle. Whoever got top four, it was almost like you won a trophy. What a load of crap, you know.
I mean, the three of us.
I don't genuinely see sorry, Dermot. I don't see getting a top four as a success. A successful year. Well, like, what's so successful about that? You haven't won anything.
Unless you're going to do something with that Champions League money worthwhile, what's the point in continually getting back in there when you can get beaten?
It's all to do with them making money, Kuva. Because what it does is it sends the brand name of Tottenham out to the masses, and then you've got like the big Asian markets is where they make most of their money as well, and that's how they sell it off. You know, they're so clever when it comes to business, and they know how to make the money. This club, as I said before, is a feeding frenzy for them.
Yeah,
and it's going to be so hard for us to get rid of these guys. The only way is through a huge investor coming in. It's the only way.
It's like as I like to call it, the football pitch is basically the organic advertising suite.
Yeah.
because it's to get the rest of the business done. We're just there to bring the brand name up. It's work for them. Brilliant. What they can do off the field, isn't it?
You ever see your news programs, and they say they have a camera and they go out to somewhere like Nigeria or anywhere out in Africa, and you see all the little kids. Now I know they're all fake jerseys, but they're all Premiership jerseys they're wearing.
Yeah.
You know, that's how far that brand goes, and I don't think people realise how massive the market out there is. And these guys, they got to be hoarding money. You know, they got to be.
It's like we're having a discussion the other night about champions. I think it was on Shawnee's channel, Spurs talk show. We were talking about Champions League football, how much that matters. Is it the bigger trophy and things like that? And my argument was, no, the Premier League's a massive draw for players to come to. Equally as much as the Champions League, if not more, because it's every week. It's big name teams playing big name teams. And that goes all over the globe. Everybody knows about the Premier League. Champions League doesn't mean quite so much to a lot of them, but everybody, like you said, they get these African countries with the little kids wearing their fake club tops. They're not wearing like sort of Champions League gear, are they? They're specific to clubs in this country.
I remember when I lived in Holland, and the Premier League over there is massive. You wouldn't believe how big the Premier League is. Like the Dutch love their football, and they'll support the Dutch teams, but they all support a Premiership team.
Yeah.
And everywhere you went, in every bar, they'd have the Premiership games on.
Yeah, I've got a few fanatic Dutch friends, mad Ajax fans, but Spurs are their second team. And it's a very close second.
Yes.
They're really involved in it.
They grow up watching Premiership football.
Yeah. Actually, I'll have to see if I can get them on the channel one time. That could be. You'd have to be a bit prepared for a shock, though. They'll take it over. They will. They're absolutely nutters.
I mean, we've all seen Tottenham win something. I feel sorry for the younger fans today that haven't seen us win a trophy. I really feel genuinely sad for them, but they think top four is just that's it. We've made it.
Yeah, it's the Enick and Levy mentality that they've put out there, you know, and it's a bad mentality. Like you look at Man United when they were winning everything, like. They were ruthless, you know. I remember my dad turning to me watching Man United demolish Manchester City, and he just said, like, you have to sit back, he said, and you have to admire that. They're that good, you know. And everybody wanted to beat them. Everybody. And they used that to their advantage. But, like, for us to get to that point, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take huge sums of money and someone that really wants to get to that level and to stay there, you know. That's the key to everything. It's okay winning it once or getting there to that point and winning something, but then it's staying at that level. Can we do that? We're never going to do that under Enick or Levy. Never. No. Not a chance. I think we all realise that now, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Man United, they've spent billions on players by having upgraded Old Trafford. We've gone round the different route where it was said last night in Mr. K's show, there was a Man United fan on there, and fair play to him for coming on, actually. And I thought, no, fair play to him, tip my hat off to him for doing it. We've gone the other way. We spent $1 billion on the stadium and not on the players. And Man United and Spurs are in the same position. But at least Man United have tried.
Yeah.
You can't, as much as everyone hates the Glazers up there, you can't say they haven't put the money into the
No,
team.
they have. That's the thing. And when the Man United supporters broke into Old Trafford, you know, they took that message and they ran with it, didn't they? You know what I mean? Like, let's be like, if I was to be totally honest, they should have never went and got Ronaldo. I think he's a big problem at that club, to be honest with you. But I couldn't really care less. I used to hate them in the 90s anyway.
It's funny to watch them
Bloody
struggle
hated
with it.
them. Yeah.
He should have came to Tottenham, stick him in the boardroom with Levy for half an hour. Levy would definitely quit then. Levy would say,
Do you reckon Levy, like, I don't like saying things like this, but do you reckon Levy, like, do you reckon he has a problem? Like, you ever watch him on that Amazon program? Like, he looks very fidgety, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you reckon he has a problem, like, actually communicating with people?
He doesn't like the limelight, apparently. So he prefers a quiet sort of one-on-one type thing. Which that does fit from what we've seen. He does look very sort of nervous, fidgety, doesn't he?
But isn't Joe Lewis the very same, though? Doesn't he say the same thing?
Yeah.
Jesus, we couldn't get two worse blokes to run this club, you know?
They don't like spending money. They don't like the limelight. They don't like going
hiding the shadows would be the other way of looking at it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I remember on that show when Levy came into Mourinho's office, and he started going on about Christian Eriksen. Oh, that was the most awkward moment I've ever witnessed in my life. Like, you could see Jose Mourinho was just thinking, "Who is this idiot? Get away from me!"
I feel sorry for Jose. I mean, on that Amazon, that was so fixed. But I think we're going to bring this to the end, will we, Keith?
Yeah, I'm just going through the titles.
We'll go through a few more comments, and then we'll call it a day. William, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Oh no, boys, it's all my pleasure.
No,
please
definitely. We'll have you on again sometime, mate.
Yeah,
definitely.
We'll have your all-time Spurs 11 and your top 5 Spurs moments. And what's the other one we asked them to do? Good.
Oh, we like having a little section on shithouse players, don't we?
Yeah.
The ones that the Lamella types, the ones that wind up the opposition.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So those are ones to bear in mind.
Yeah. So we'll definitely organise and get you on, William. William, it's been a pleasure having you on, sir. And listen, what time is it in Australia at the moment?
At the moment, it is. I'm just looking up at the clock. It's 11:45 at night.
Jesus.
Yep.
Well, are you busy working now? Busy?
Oh yeah, I'm flat out with work, Dermot. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, listen, William, it's been a pleasure having you on, sir. And please, you're welcome anytime onto this channel. You're an absolute
excellent,
legend.
boys. I appreciate that. I appreciate you giving me time to come on and have my say.
No, that's what we're here. You're an absolute legend. You're an Irish brother, so keep the Irish flag flying. Keep the Irish flag flying in Australia. And we'll speak to you soon, William, again.
I will do. Cheers, boys. See you later.
See you later.
Cheers,
Thank you very much.
Care, mate.
Thank you. Wow. What a show. What a brilliant show.
We've still got loads of comments we haven't done. Just going through quickly. For Atavakron saying about the Luton game. I think that was the one when Pat Van Den got sent off a horrendous tackle.
He did.
Paul Stewart did drop back in the midfield, and he was the revelation. He changed that into it was his new thing, wasn't it? That kind of turned him into a very good player for us. So funny how things come around that way.
I'll quickly hit them. You read them there. So we've got Arthur. Big up, Arthur. Sorry, I haven't got to your comment. You're probably left by now.
Sorry, mate. I can do them. I know where I am. I think so. I can quickly. Frank. Good morning, mate.
Morning,
did a history
Frank.
study on the word "yid" for 2 hours last night, and I'm sorry, but Ben was wrong. I'd like to come on sometime to discuss it with much respect. I'd beg to differ about Ben being wrong, actually, mate. But history books don't always judge the current climate of things. So that's what.
Good job, Ben's not here to actually read that, because that would.
You've really got to seriously know your stuff if you're going to ask about issues that are affecting somebody that's the sort of hostilities are actually aimed against at the time. But yeah, would love to hear your views at some point. Anyway, when we
Yeah.
go on, it'll be a time when we've got a very balanced panel, so we can hear all sides of things. But we'll come back on that one.
Yeah, we will.
Also, Tavercon saying was also there in '75 when Alfie Conn scored the winner 2-1 late against Luton, that helped us survive that season. Yeah, that's another season we featured a few times, like playing Chelsea and that one to try and stay up as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you have Alan Sugar back as chairman? No. Levy
I would. Can I just say yes to that?
Okay.
To be
leave
fair, I would.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like what he did, I think at least he backed the managers.
All the money you make can never buy back your soul. Stevie Fraser. True.
That's true.
Arthur saying this is not the THFC, we all know. Enoch only interested in property. Levy has an honours degree in land management, events, etc. No, nothing about running a football club. Therein lies the main problem. Absolutely, mate.
Absolutely.
John Fitzpatrick, Cody Mack, who was Spurs manager when he first fell in love with Spurs. Interesting one. Can't be. I'm imagining Cody Mack's fairly new supporter, as it were.
I would say Harry Redknapp around that era.
John's
Martin
asking
Yelp.
William where he's from. Arthur, continuing, we're treated as plebs. They think we are the plebs we think we are. Fodder is for their money-making exploits. As I always say, to beat Enoch, stop the tills from ringing. Yeah. At the end of the day, that gets their attention, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Frank saying, did we really expect anything different, really? I know the Conte signing gave us hope. If Enoch were ever going to spend it, it would have happened after the season of 2016-17 when we had a great 11. Yeah, that's the time when you push on and start taking the titles.
Yeah.
You just add that couple of bits of quality that make all the difference. If we'd signed the likes of Sane back there, that's the type of player that can grab you those extra points when you're struggling to a draw. We could have done it. We could have done it. You're quite right, Frank. How Arthur saying bloodsuckers, leeches? Yes, indeed. Carl, Big Commerce does online stores and internet-based sales. Yeah, kind. I'm guessing the sort of was it going to be an Amazon type thing, perhaps?
Maybe. Amazon might be coming to buy the club. Get your wish there, Keith.
Why, have you heard something?
I'll tell you what, fair.
Right, that'll be a no. That's the standard. We'll be Dermot's ITK that may or may not be right. I don't know. Maybe.
Dermot's never right.
No,
it's
the trouble with ITKs when you really start looking at it. How often are they actually right?
I had one last night saying, or come up on my computer saying that who's the fella that does all the starships or the rockets for NASA? Or what's his name? Oh, I forget what his name is. Apparently, he wants to buy Tottenham, and there's more chance of him buying Tottenham.
I've forgotten the name now as well.
Yeah,
I know the one you mean.
But there's more chance of him buying Tottenham than you and me winning the lottery. To be fair.
Well, if he's been building rockets, at least we could say we'd definitely be aiming high.
Yeah, definitely. Could he land one on Levy just to put him somewhere else?
Launch Levy into space. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a great one, wouldn't it? Enoch and Levy on the moon.
Arthur saying Levy does not like the limelight and certainly doesn't like being criticised. Absolutely. I think that's pretty obvious to everyone now, isn't it? Carl Simpson, according to Inside Football, Spurs are still in for Guimaraes and looking to match Newcastle's bid. We are rumour crazy. Even if we match their bid, it's going to be some half-assed attempt. Newcastle offer massive wages now. We won't. We can forget it. If they're after him, they're going to get him. Frankly, loads. I have a degree in history. I just what was it? Just to refresh my history, and I don't want to upset Ben, but let's have the correct facts. I have hundreds of history books with respect. Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into that conversation now. That's for sure.
No,
All I'm going to say is events certainly in England in the last few years are taking a turn for the worse, and minority groups are getting victimised like never before in my experience. Anyway,
and, and,
it's
and and to be fair, Frank, I don't think it's right for us to even do that without Ben here having his say on the subject either.
absolutely.
So maybe tomorrow morning, if you're on again, Frank, ask your question. We'll get Ben to answer it, but it's not fair when Ben's not here.
And William replying to John saying he's from Carlo. Carlo, I'm assuming it's pronounced Carlo.
Yeah, it is Carlo. It's actually not far from me. I'm about an hour and 20 minutes away from Carlo from here, from Exeter. So it's not far.
Frank saying, lads, I'm going to do a video on the subject on my his channel. Take a look when I'm done. I'll do the video today. Fair enough, mate. When it's on your own channel, have you do your own say, no problem at all, mate. We're just trying to be careful here, respectful for everybody.
And Ben's a friend as well as a colleague, but he's a friend, so we don't want to upset anyone.
What I will say is it would be very easy to upset Ben and people like-minded as Ben, or when you go wading into subjects that are so prominently of concern to them. And as Ben said the other day on the show, there are members in the Jewish community that have a packed suitcase by the front door, so they're ready to run from their home. That speaks volumes about what it's like in the country at the moment. That really shocked me when he said that.
I'm still shocked by that, and it's bad in 2022 as a society we're like that. Ben and me both being from parents from other countries that weren't English. I mean, I think poor old Ben went through a lot worse than what I did as a child growing up. Yeah, I had my share of bullying because I was Irish, and a share of, my mother not being allowed to being served in the butchers because she was from Northern Ireland. But Ben had it a lot worse, and I'll always back Ben up on everything. We will in this channel. He's a colleague, he's a friend, and I understand where you come from, Frank, but we should take what Ben says with respect and with 100% from the horse's mouth, because he's the man that has lived through it. I don't, Uber doesn't, you don't, Ben does. And I think when you're hearing people saying they've got suitcases by the front door, people shouldn't have to live like that. People shouldn't have to, and not in this day and age, not in 2022. And I think it's disgusting. It's terrible. And Ben, we've got your back, man. Always will be in this channel. And we respect everyone's opinion, everyone's religion, race, creed, whatever. But we all should be kind to one another. We only get one life. We don't get another one after this. Whatever your religious beliefs, whatever your creed, your colour, we should all be kind to one another. Because if we turn on one another, the world won't be a nice place to live. And we all want to live in a nice place for our children and their children and their children. So come on, let's put everything aside and just be there for one another. Love is about peace and love, and that's what it should be. Doesn't matter where you are or who you are. And I've got no time for racist people or bigots or anything like that. As far as I'm concerned, they're scum of the earth.
To be fair, I have spent some time talking to Frank, and he's a genuinely nice bloke.
I wasn't saying that about Frank.
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to clarify things for people that are seeing it. But at the end of the day, we will back our mate Ben right the way through, because the things he's told us, you can't ignore them.
No, you look at the comment he's just put there. I don't know if we should bring it up or not. I'll let you look at it first.
I think we'll leave it for.
But I'm just saying what he's just put there just puts everything into perspective. But listen,
it does.
I want to end on a bit of a high note, a bit of a sad note. Today would have been Bill Nicholson's 103rd birthday. And I normally will go out saying you never beat the Irish, or Cooper say you beat the Germans. We always have a bit of fun going out to these shows. But I think today, being Bill Nick's birthday, I think I should end on this quote, and I hope Mr. Levy and Lewis are watching. Because if you think you know what Tottenham Hotspur is about, then listen to these words, then you know what it's about. Bill Nicholson said this after we won the Winners' Cup in 1963 at the reception down Tottenham High Road. He said it's better to fail aiming high than succeed aiming low. And we of Spurs have set our sights very high. So high, in fact, that every failure we have in it has echoes of glory. So, Bill Nick, wherever you are, sir, wish you a very happy birthday. And
I think we've got to say again, keep supporting it in any way you can. Supporting Brian Daigle and Graham and all the others that are going to the protests for Levy out. And please retweet the tweets that are coming out with, or from any of us on the channel. We'll be doing it all day as well. Just making sure people have got this in their face at all times. And if Back Conte is trending at the moment, let's get onto that hashtag Back Conte. Anything to put the pressure on Levy. He's got to see how unhappy fans are. It's got to be so he can't ignore it, because it's easy for him to sit up in his little castle and pull the curtains, pretend it's not happening while he's counting his money. But there's a lot of us suffering through this, isn't there? And a lot of us way beyond the point where we've had enough. We just want him out now.
Yeah, we do. And I think that's a great way to end the show. So happy birthday, Bill Nick, Mr. Tottenham. Everyone, please do what Cleaver says. Get behind Brian Daigle and Graham and everyone down there. We'll do our bit on this channel. And go on, Cleaver. Say them words to bring us out.
Levy out.